And welcome back to Coral Gables Now. There is a new law in the county that affects pet owners. It is now illegal to tie up your pets outside unless you are present. To explain how this ordinance came about and what is being asked of you, we have with us Investigations Supervisor Kathy Labrada for Miami-Dade County Animal Services. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, what is tethering?
Tethering refers to the practice of securing an animal by means of a rope, a chain, a cord, or a lead. It does not refer to walking a dog on a leash.
Okay, and so I was looking at the press release that was sent out, and it said that Chapter 5 is where this tethering is taking effect, where it's being amended, and that code actually deals with animal cruelty. Is it animal cruelty to tether an animal now?
The act of tethering is not considered animal cruelty. However, it is considered inhumane. So it is covered under Chapter 5 of Miami-Dade County Code.
Okay, and how did this come about? How did this ordinance come about? Is it something that you've seen a problem with, and so now you guys are doing something about it? How does it work?
We've been working on rewriting Chapter 5. It hadn't been revisited in quite some time, and once our new director was appointed, we thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and go through the entire chapter and maybe address some issues that hadn't been addressed previously, and tethering was one of those.
Okay. And so before, there was no citations or anything given to the fact that someone was tethering an animal?
Prior to April 1st, 2009, it was perfectly legal to tether an animal in Miami-Dade County.
So why was it changed? What have you noticed with tethered animals?
Well, the Humane Society of the United States and the United States Department of Agriculture, as well as the Miami-Dade Animal Services Department, all agree that the practice of tethering a dog is inhumane. Dogs by nature are social animals. They want to be inside your home. They want to be interacting with the family and with other pets. So to isolate an animal and have him tethered to an area in the yard where he's not able to come and interact freely is inhumane. It does cause neurotic behavior. It causes anxiety and aggression. In fact, a tethered dog is about 3.5 times more likely to be involved in a bite incident than a dog that isn't.
Wow. So what are the alternatives? I mean, some people would say, you know, this is the only way of keeping them in your property. What do you do if that is the only option for you? What are the alternatives?
I think the best option would be to bring the dog indoors. If there's a specific area in your home, if you don't want the dog roaming freely in your home, you can put up kitty gates, or maybe have the dog confined to maybe the laundry room area or a utilities area. The best option would be bring the dog inside. Other than that, if the dog is able to be free in the yard, if you do have a securely fenced yard and you don't have a dog that's prone to digging or escaping over, that would be ideal. And if neither of those are viable options, then perhaps crating the dog while you're at work or when you're not home to supervise.
So crating the dog doesn't create an aggression, though?
To crate a dog on a continual basis would be bad.
Okay.
At this point, because tethering is no longer an option, and some people do have dogs that are tethered outdoors because the dogs will climb the fence or go under the fence. They're persistent diggers. In those cases, crating may be an option, and as long as the crate is of sufficient size, which is a crate that would allow the animal to move around freely, to turn around, stand up, and lay down comfortably, that would be acceptable. Of course, not on a continual basis, just perhaps when no one's home.
Okay. And then, now tethering is legal if you are outside in visual, when you're actually looking at the dog, is that right?
You can lawfully tether.
Okay.
There are very specific requirements. And the list is pretty detailed.
Okay.
The good and kind of fast rule would be if you are located outside with the dog and are within if you're located outside with the dog and are within visual range of the dog, then it would be lawful. And then, of course, the tether would have to be at least 5 times the length of the dog's body and would have to be affixed to a leather or nylon collar. It couldn't be on a choke chain or prong type collar.
Okay. And how is this ordinance being enforced?
This ordinance is being enforced on a complaint basis. Anyone that observes an animal that's tethered and would like to have Animal Services investigate would simply need to dial 311.
So what are the fines associated with this ordinance?
For a first-time offense, the first time we actually do witness the dog tethered, a 30-day warning would be issued, which allows 30 days to correct the violation, either to have a fence put in or to bring the dog indoors, or obtain a crate for the dog. So there's no immediate fine. You'll have a 30-day warning first. The next violation that we witness involving the same dog would result in a $100 citation, and each subsequent offense would result in a $500 citation.
Wow. So it really pays to really solve that problem within those 30 days if you have it. Thank you so much, Investigator Labrada. I appreciate you coming in. This is obviously everyone has dogs here in Coral Gables, as in the rest of the county, so it's important to stay abreast of the new ordinances, especially if you keep your dogs outdoors. And if you need any more information on the new ordinance, or if you have any questions, or if you want to know those specific guidelines for tethering your animal when you're outside, you can go to the Miami-Dade County website for animal services, and that's www.miamidade.gov/animals. You can also call the Miami-Dade County hotline at 311. Up next, it's time to start thinking about what to do with your kids during the summer break. The Parks and Recreation Department has a whole list of fun choices. We'll have those when we return. And then Florida's Department of Transportation will be working on improvements to Bird Road this year, but it may mean removing landscaping that's in the way. We'll be right back.